Hello and a warm welcome to this video. In this video, I have covered Biocon. Biocon is promoted by Kiran Majumdar Shaw, is into the manufacturing of biotechnology products and research. Syngin, its research and services arm, is also listed. Biocon has a market cap of 32,850 crores with a return of equity of 4.78%. Promoters hold 60.64%, and there is zero pledge. The entire promoter holding is not pledged. In fact, the promoter holding in the last 10 years is intact. There's been no change in percentage. They have not sold, diluted, or added at all. FIIs hold 9.52%, which has gone down in the last few years slightly. Domestic institutions hold 12.59%, which has doubled in the last 6 7 years, while the public holds 16.77%. Among the non-promoter, largest shareholder is LIC at 4.41% and Mirai Asset Fund at 2.11%. Now let's have a look at the charts and see in from various time frames and try to conclude that what looks the outlook for the stock. So starting with the monthly time frame, you can see that from the time of its listing in 2004, it did a dip till 2009, the subprime crash. From there, decent recovery, decent moves up, and we can see continuous higher highs being formed, higher highs, and on the way up, all the way, as you can see here in the charts. Uh, this is the first one, higher high. Then this is the next one. Then there's a small sideways move in 2017-18. Then a bigger one comes in the COVID lows out here. Now, surprisingly, after the what do you call, just this is before the COVID lows. In fact, during the COVID time, the stock did pretty well. You can see a higher low formation in the lower time frame out here. Then a new high, and from there, the stock went on to break its pre-COVID lows also. So one of the few rare stocks which saw that kind of a correction uh, in the market. While others have all most stocks have held their COVID lows, Biocon failed to do that, and ever since then, we are seeing a bounce back. Now, as per the Ichimoku study, in the monthly, the it broke below and then bounced back. Now, should we consider this bounce back to be a major reversal? In the monthly time frame as per Ichimoku, still a lot of time to get that kind of a confirmation, because number one, future Kumo is still bearish and quite big, and it is trading below the Ichimoku baseline. So monthly investors will not be so aggressive that early in the stock. Now let's look at the weekly into the bounce baseline taken out, trying to push its way up. But now we can see the stock has entered the cloud, and inside the cloud tends to be a very volatile area, which makes the stock very critical. In this zone, volatility goes up. You can see a long wick candle out here and three sharp candles pull back accordingly happening inside this zone out here, but trying to push its way out of that zone. We'll look into the supports once we cover the time frames. In the daily time frame, we can see a kind of a wedge like structure taking place out here in it. There you go. The wedge-like structure suggesting some kind of a narrow range breakout could happen, or a breakdown, which normally such structures, if it does not squeeze, then it could break out, but if it keeps on narrowing, then a downside move would be possible in it. Let's have a look at the hourly. Hourly again bouncing back above the cloud, holding on to it. In the derivative data, options and futures, there is very little change in the last 5 days of the stock, while the option chain of September, which is coming to an end with just 6 more trading days to go, is showing 275 as a resistance, while the October is showing 280 call huge OI. Above that, 300. On the put side, there is very little open interest to suggest a huge support as of now in both, especially in October settlement as of now. So now let's try to look at where the supports and resistance are from the lower time frame onwards. So lower time frame, I would suggest that look at it that above 275, 276, it could see some serious uh, short covering happening above that level. Till that level, writers in calls and future shorts may not be so uh, alarmed till then. Downside, if it breaks below 270, then there is pressure all the way down to this trend line out here at 265, then further down to 260, 255. That's the extreme short term. Let's look at the daily time frame. Baseline support at 265. Below that, the cloud at 255. Again, cluster support of two different time frames. There is a resistance coming up at 285 to 295. That is, which could actually stretch into October if depending on how it moves up. Immediate moving up, yes, 285 is a kind of a wall out there in front of it right now. It out here. Let's go to the weekly and see what the scenario is suggesting to us. Weekly is also suggesting 290 as an immediate wall. If it takes out 290, then there could be some further spike towards 320, 330. That's a kind of a wall I'll be paying more attention to going ahead uh, for further upward move, because then it would lead more and more, different signals would come in for a buy. Some some funds would also get in looking at that picture that yes, some allocation can take place till at least 320-25, which is the next wall for it. Look, the weekly support is right now at downwards towards 260, but a bigger one sits around 245. So, in case that daily, hourly 260, 255 fails to hold, then it could come all the way down to the lower end of the cloud, depending on how much time it takes to do such a thing. So, inside the cloud, in a non direction uncertainty zone right now. Coming to the monthly, approaching the baseline now, because it's a monthly candle, we have to wait for a month end, and September month end resistance right now near 300. October again will resume like that. So this 300 to 325.30 is a wall for the stock going forward. And if we just keep the chart on a, yeah, simple trend line from the top, that too comes around this level. This is the line of polarity for the stock going forward. You can see that this top was negated, came down, broke above it, some kind of time pass had done at 330 level. So that becomes a very crucial level going forward for this stock. And Ichimoku cloud blockage is also out there for it. So crucial levels ahead. No major clarity for the stock in either direction right now. Yes, once it the first hint of a good possible upside would be a monthly close above, from a long term perspective, that yes, it has taken out this at 300, then we'll try to push its way above 330, 340. That's where more momentum would come to the stock. Then we could see some consolidation and further up. For until then, a lot of investor money will not come in so fast, in my view, in my reading in the stock. Else they would be looking for a pullback in it all the way. So this particular range is to be watched out, from this zone, how it behaves in this particular zone, or we see a pullback till here. There, in either case, we could see some action, coming into the stock. Upward momentum, yes, would pick up like this. Else, smart money would, if we call this a bottom in the monthly time frame out here of the correction, which has taken at 27 months. If I just show you, yeah, 27 months of correction, then we could say yes that the stock has some potential to again build its way up from there, and it would just push. So both levels, right now, not at in my reading at an aggression level, more at a wait and watch. Breaks on the upside above 275 80, yes, then it will try to do a move, or on a dip down near 250 245, where smart money would again reevaluate the stock for further upside in it in the near future or not. So that's my outlook of it. Disclaimer: this is not a trading advice, long short buy sell. Please do your research thoroughly. This is a pure educational video based on Ichimoku, and I've made it accordingly. So before you do, please do your study and always respect the stop loss and manage your risk. I hope this video is of help to you. So please do like it and also share the same. Until then, happy investing.